And before we start, just a quick request for all of you kind enough to listen to our podcast. We really appreciate it. We are grateful for every listener, and we are aware that some of you are listening via Spotify. We would like to remove our podcast from this platform, as the CEO of this organisation, Daniel Eck, has a less than salubrious history of underpaying musicians for their art, and has of late made questionable investments with the money he has made through Spotify. Two glaring examples are the €600,000 investment in Helsing, which is an AI weapons company, and the $150,000 paid to Trump's inauguration bash. We don't want to just pull the podcast from Spotify immediately and stop you listening to us, but we would kindly ask you to find alternative platforms to find us, be it a podcatcher app, YouTube, or just going direct to our source hosting site, given in the show notes. We will no longer be available on Spotify from the end of May. Thank you again for your support, but please don't use Spotify, as even the free version uses ad revenue to pay for evil shit perpetrated with their profits, and very little goes towards the artists you listen to. Satan does not like AI, weaponry, or Trump, and likes musicians to be paid a fair rate. Hello, and welcome again to Devil's Discourse. And with me this time, I have Mel.
Hail Satan.
I have Lygia.
Hail Satan.
I have Larage.
Hail Satan.
And I'm Lithos. Hail Satan.
Damn it, it's still better than mine.
Guys.
And this time we are talking all things music. The music we like as Satanists and just as people. Some of it will be satanic themed, some of it more satanic in its arrangement, and some of it not at all. Believe it or not, we don't spend all our time in the dark listening to corpse-painted Norwegian church burners testifying of their love for the Dark Lord via guttural incantations. We've drawn up a helpful YouTube playlist with some of our favourites for your delectation. The link will, as always, be in the show notes. So, it's time to kick out the jams, motherfuckers!
Yeah!
MC5 reference there.
Yep. Yep. I think most of our listeners will be far too young for MC5.
You never know.
Well, if you're too young for MC5, listen to it. They were arguably the first punk band.
They were great.
Yeah.
In the 60s. And their first album actually had that as the beginning line, motherfuckers, which was absolutely unheard of at the time.
I didn't know.
Lots of pearl clutching.
So, yeah. So I'll do a bit of really boring music theory at the start to get it out of the way. You probably heard of something called the Devil's Note, or the Devil's Interval, or various other names for it. It's basically the note. If you want to know what it is, the most obvious way to find out is listen to Black Sabbath's eponymous track on their debut album. So the track Black Sabbath. 3 notes to the riff, right? There's a root note, there's the octave, which is the same note, but twice the frequency, and the third note it lands on is the Devil's Note, which is the note slap bang in the middle. And it sounds really unsettling, and also unlike some things you might have heard of it being called the Devil's Note because the Catholic Church forbade it or locked people up for playing it in music. That's all bullshit. and Apocrypha. I don't often defend the Catholic Church, but in this case, it has been used throughout musical history, and it has particularly been used in jazz, blues, and rock. It wasn't often used in churchy music because it sounds a bit discordant, and that's the only reason why. So it might have been known as the Devil's Note, but no one ever got into trouble for using the Devil's Note. That was just a name that was given to it. And an awful lot of the music that you will see on our playlist and we might talk about today will contain that one note, or that interval, I should say. And it's in common usage. It has been in common usage for ages, and it particularly got into common usage with jazz, blues, and then later rock, and obviously then heavy metal. And that's a boring music theory bit, so now you know what the Devil's Note is.
It was not boring.
No,
You
definitely
need to
not.
try more.
So who wants to kick us off with some of their suggestions? Or music you like, or...
I would just like to add, like, not only that note was called maybe cursed or something, devil-like, but as you know from history, there were like artists, or like musicians, composers, whatever, who were called like, oh, there must be something with them. Like, this is unreal how good they are. Like the Faustian contract.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Niccolo Paganini.
Yeah.
Great example. Like, he was too good to be true. Like, oh, that must be... And people suffered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Stuff
that
like
story
that.
about Robert Johnson,
Just-
the blues musician,
Yeah.
who went to
Yes.
the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil and came back,
Yeah.
you know, this revolutionary guitar player. And clearly, people had trouble with the idea of a black man being quite good at music.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I mean, there is... The story with him goes, I believe, that he was okay and he was playing stuff, and then people hadn't seen him for weeks. And then he suddenly turned up and he was really good. And chances are that was because he locked himself away somewhere and
practiced,
practiced the fuck out of the guitar.
Yeah.
He didn't go to the crossroads and sell his soul to the devil.
Or to the desert like Jesus went for 40 days, and that was okay.
Yeah, and then there's the fact
Just
that
saying.
he died very young, I think in his late 20s or early 30s at most. And of course, that's part of the myth. What is now believed to be more the case is he might have got congenital syphilis via one of his parents.
Oh dear.
So one of his parents had syphilis and he got it congenitally, and that caused his ill health and early demise.
Goodness.
On the other hand, in those days, black people did not tend to live that long for various reasons of racism and all manner of things.
Well, I put Crossroad.
Yeah.
I put Crossroad Blues on the playlist, so hopefully people will hear it.
He also did a track called, I think, Walking with the Devil, or Me Walking with the Devil, something like that. It's not on the list because it talks about beating his woman. So.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. But
Yeah.
also, they have been instruments that were, like, not allowed because people were fainting, and it was like, oh, this is just like ghosts. You know the instrument called glass harmonica?
Yeah.
It's made of the little glass, like, balls. I think it's absolutely gorgeous and so ridiculous because it's so fragile and heavy and everything. Everything's, like, wrong. And it is gorgeous. And it was banned because it was like, oh, the sound is just, like, not right for people. Yeah, okay. This was like a little side note from me, like always.
A little side journey. That's good. Still relevant.
No, yeah. I mean, all manner of things will have been sort of frowned upon in the same way that people, when there was the first cars or trains, people were convinced that if you travelled faster than 5 miles an hour, your brains would melt.
Yes.
I saw something on TV yesterday that just reminded me, where they said that it was on Facebook. Actually, it was one of those reels. It was a woman talking about the history of female medicine, and they thought that if women travelled too fast, that their uteruses would fly out.
Yeah, that's the one, yes. Yeah, or people would go insane. There's all kinds of things. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
Why
if...
the uterus?
Why the uterus in particular?
Why is it not my left tit or what? Like what?
Your tits will drop
How's it
off.
going to get out?
It's just like uterus.
Such a
How?
random choice.
Yeah.
Why the reason?
Yeah. Not like your
Well, wasn't that
eyeball.
the reason for the name, the phrase hysterical? Because it was linked to
Of course.
your
The uterus.
your female reproductive apparatus. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How ridiculous. Yeah. So funny sometimes.
People are pure mental back then.
I don't want more kids. Okay, let's just travel real fast.
Just go over 5 miles an hour. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there it goes.
A speed-related hysterectomy.
Speed of the light.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Lithos said in his introduction that we weren't all kind of like buried in our dark bedrooms listening to corpse-painted fiends from Norway. And I'm kind of the exception to that, because I kind of am. That's exactly the sort of stuff that I spend the majority of my time listening to. So I think Satanism in music is dependent on the type of Satanism that you particularly subscribe to. So maybe, our friends in other satanic organisations who are a bit less progressive might listen to the likes of Mayhem or Burzum, but the sort of black metal that I listen to is stuff by people like Celtic Frost and Volva, Witch Club Satan, moving away from black metal specifically, but remaining in metal, bands like Creator, Rotting Christ, Sepultura, and none of these bands identify themselves as satanic or Satanists, although some of them do write music about Satanism. But to me, they kind of like write songs and embody ideas that are about rebellion or revolution or marking a particular epoch. There's a song that I'm particularly fond of by a UK band called Sabbath, who were big in the 80s. And one of their songs is called For Those Who Died, which noted and talked about the witch persecutions in the Middle Ages. So it's things like that. I don't think Satanism to us is about, summoning up this kind of like supernatural Dark Lord. It's more about the things that we believe the allegorical Satan represents. And I think that's what this kind the variation on black metal and metal in channel that I listen to is also about.
there is, there's the kind of, and this is a band, I'm not bigging them up because I think they're great. They're very influential in early sort of bringing Satan as a figure into music, and that's Venom. And it's kind of comic book Satanism is how I describe it. It's all, I'm evil, I follow the Dark Lord, and arguably really ropey and shit in terms of, not very good at keeping time but they were very influential, especially, for bands that came up after them along the same lines like Slayer and other bands like that. Mm-hmm. But there is all manner of sort of like ridiculous Satanism in metal as well.
I think Venom in particular were influential because they were so they kind of like for the first time they openly embodied that kind of that type of Satanism. Mm-hmm. And you're right. They didn't always play in time, and they did make lots of mistakes. But I don't really mind that. That's kind of like a very punky type ethos and attitude to me, and I quite like that. Mm-hmm. When I hear a band on a record or I go and see them live, I don't want it to sound like production quality, cut and paste. I want to hear their fingers on the fretboard. I want to hear the odd bit of feedback. I don't want a perfect rendition.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the Eagles for that kind of thing.
I think that's also very satanic because we don't deny the imperfection and the humanity in us. So
true.
I think that is kind of why it's satanic for you also.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also
it's not picture perfect.
The simple fact that now you do not need to spend that much money to make a recording sound good, and you have software to help you. And if you listen to your perfectly produced musicians and assume they are always playing like that, no. They will have software helping them to keep in time. And, you know, at the time in the 80s when Venom were knocking out their first albums, studio time was expensive, and you certainly wouldn't have been able to afford the best engineers. And, yeah, it's going to sound ropey because, you know, they might all turn up in the studio, have had a good sort of belly full of speed, so the tracks get faster. And then, you know, lay down the tracks as quickly as possible because every minute costs, and just knock the album out. So, you know, there's an awful lot of bands who would sound like Venom now if it wasn't for the fact that they have very good software to help them sound better.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was talking when Vex and I recorded the latest Contra Odium that went live the other day. We were kind of talking about that. There's this musical style called deathcore, which is like a bit of a mix between death metal and metalcore, hence the name deathcore. And it's very produced. I mean, like really produced to kind of like within an inch of its life. And I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying these people aren't talented musicians, but you do wonder how they would cope with playing some of it live. It wouldn't sound like that live at all.
And I think that's the case actually with, kind of off topic slightly, but a lot of the mass-produced pop stuff, you know, that you hear on the radio that's very, very samey, it is overproduced, you know, and so to me it's got no, I don't know, like personality. It's like listening to music from a robot. Yeah, well, soul, yeah. Soul, yeah. It's soulless music, which is why I can't understand why it's so popular, but it's also why I don't like it myself, you know, the kind of mass-produced stuff that sounds like a computer's written it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got no soul.
In a lot of cases, there will certainly be there'll be AI involved with that kind of thing. Yeah. And, you know, you're getting songwriting teams who just knock out one hit after the other. They do what was referred to, and it was really popular sort of a decade ago, I think it's called the millennial whoop, which was in every song. Which was kind of like, I can't do the notes because I can't sing.
I know exactly what you mean.
Can't carry a tune.
I think I understand, yeah.
I mean, I kind of blame studios like Stock Aitken and Waterman and Simon Cowell and that kind of stuff for that kind of stuff. Just kind of in the 80s, the mid-80s, late 80s, early 90s, just churning out hit after hit after hit after hit. And they've got no... To harken back to a book we recently read, they've got no individualism, any of the people. There's no kind of characters in these groups. It's just one. They could be interchangeable. Yeah. You know, whether it's. I'm not. You know, we all know the Australian soap actors who benefited from that, and I'm not knocking them particularly, but God Almighty, it did get a bit soul destroying after a while.
Yeah, and Kylie. I mean, Kylie's been singing since like 1986 or something. It took her a long time to break out of that kind of box of being just a Stock Aitken Waterman, singer. You know, she sort of went off and did her sort of darker stuff and her Nick Cave bit and all of that sort of stuff. So it takes a lot to... And I think the other thing is that she started having a hand in writing her own music.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in Stock Aitken and Waterman, then they do all of that for you.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they were, they were AI without the actual AI. You know, they would write the music, they would write the lyrics, they would just get this random famous person to come in and provide the vocals.
Yeah. Do you remember the spoof song that came out? It's called "This Is the Chorus." That was about Stock Aitken and Waterman. Came out maybe early 90s or something. Yeah, this is the chorus, and this is the key change, you know. Yeah, very funny.
Oh, yeah. It rings a bell, but...
I don't know.
Yeah, which is not to say, of course, that there's not really decent pop music.
No.
You
Absolutely.
know, music does not have to be deadly serious or about a particular thing. It can be sort of like throwaway songs, really well executed with originality. And there is, there's nothing wrong with sort of a bit of ABBA, for want of a better example, or to take the satanic equivalent, Ghost.
Do not touch my ghost.
I'm not saying anything against Ghost.
Like ill intentions.
It's the first gig I went to after lockdown, after the final lockdown, was Ghost. It was great fun.
I mean Ritual?
I do love Ghost.
They call it a ritual.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ritual.
Yeah. See, I'm the only one in this group that actually likes Ghost, I think.
No, you're not. No. Christ, no.
But, like, you do like?
Oh, yeah, of course I like Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm like obsessed, so maybe I'm the biggest Ghost fan here.
I genuinely do not dislike them. I just don't particularly like them.
Yeah, you are not.
I can take it or leave it.
Maybe if they stop making music, you will not be sad, or you will not be.
I think I probably would be, because I do like originality. Irrespective of whether I like it or not, I appreciate good songwriting and people saying things from the heart and what they mean.
Yeah.
If it was on the radio, or someone said, "Oh, hey, Ghost have released a new single," I would listen to it, but I wouldn't necessarily go out and get the album.
Yeah, or you wouldn't go into your playlist and let's listen to it. Yeah, for me, it's the connection to that is deeper. It was what actually made me decide to finally came out of my Christian closet and like face my Satanism. I'm like, okay, let's just live my life. And their music, and specifically the lyrics of some songs, actually spoke to me so much that I'm here, and I still remember the first songs, and I am really grateful because I was suffering mentally, and I'm still here. So maybe it's my love for them is based in something very, very deep.
Good.
I can't really explain.
Fuck for Ghosts then.
It's Satan, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think I've just found a new respect for Ghost now.
Yeah.
If we wouldn't have had you with us without Ghost, then I appreciate Ghost even more than I did before.
Yeah.
I mean, music can heal.
Yeah,
music can help
absolutely.
you. And if I do struggle with my mental health, depression is for life, at least mine. Stupid bitch. And so I was actually really concerning myself with the ideas I had at the moment. It was before the freaking lockdown, so there was no issue with that. It was a few months before that I heard a specific song, Which Image.
Oh, yeah.
It was on a mountain in French Alps. And I started crying, and I couldn't stop listening to that song for maybe 3 days. I am obsessed like that. And I'm here. I'm like, yes, when I go back home to the UK, I'm going to find a group of people who will understand me. And now I'm here. So
it is,
music.
I mean, some artists can have a sort of profound sort of influence on you. And us certainly, this predates before I actually became actively a Satanist. So I didn't really know I knew a bit about the Satanic Temple, but I didn't know of any other organisations.
Yeah.
And it was 2016, and it was around the time of Brexit. And an old friend had got in touch on Facebook and had recommended Demonon Vrosis by Rotting Christ. On the Ayala album, and I loved that song, and I listened to it, and then Brexit happened, and that album saved my sanity, because I was just so fucking destroyed by what we had done as a country to ourselves, to our nearest neighbours, the horrendous racism that went along with that and came out of that and continues to fester unabated. And I listened to that album every fucking day on repeat, and it got me through the sort of horrors of Brexit, just because It's the kind of fury and kind of release valve of music that can act that way.
Yeah.
Nigeria's laughing her arse off. Don't laugh too much. Your tits might drop off, or your uterus might fall
I
out.
think I lost my uterus.
What are you laughing at?
The noise.
It's poor Lithos. Pouring it out.
Not that.
Noise. No, I'm sorry,
It's
Lithos. I am
the
so sorry,
pouring
Lithos.
noise. It was just.
Oh, was it me
Yeah,
pouring
it
my
sounds
tea?
like you're taking a. Yeah, it
was-
sounds like you're taking a piss. It does.
Yeah.
Had that before.
Sorry,
It's kind of,
sorry.
you,
And it was going slower and slower. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then
listeners,
the
it won't
boom.
be edited
Okay.
out. I might leave a bit
am
in,
so
so
sorry.
you know
Shit,
what.
it only opens that far. Oh, you can't even
That
say
was
I am so
so
sorry,
funny.
Lithos.
I was trying. I was trying to
take
listen
this-
to you, Lithos, and take
don't
you
take this
seriously, and it was
personally.
just.
I might have to leave it in now. I'll normally edit it out, but just because this would make no sense.
I am so sorry. I just couldn't. Because your face was so happy. Larage, you were like,
Maybe it was taking a piss. You know, you get to a certain age and you just can't hold on anymore.
Yep. God, yeah, I know that feeling.
Oh my god!
so
I
sorry,
think
guys.
it sounded
Okay,
like you dropped a
please,
cauldron on the
Lithos.
ground after you finished pouring it as well.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say after I finished taking a piss.
No. It just sounded like you
So thank
poured
you
it
very
out of
much.
it sounded like you
Together,
poured it
but-
out of a flagon or something and then put it down.
No, just a really shit teapot. That's,
Oh, that was. Oh,
dear.
Lithos, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Please continue or repeat what you were saying because
No,
I
that's all
wanted
right.
to
I'm not
hear
going
it,
to
but
repeat
like,
it. I'm going to leave that noise in this time, just because
okay, please.
it's quite
so
funny.
it makes sense.
It is. Yeah, it is. Tea pouring noises are normally edited out, like I say, but not this
so
time. So listeners,
It's music,
you're in for
it's
a
music.
treat. Yeah, it's music.
I even said to myself,
Music of water.
when I made that part, I said to myself, remember to mute your microphone before you pour out. Because I remember when Pike did it when we were doing a Devil's Library episode,
Oh, God. Yes.
and we had to stop then as well. I'm like, oh,
Oh, God.
I love this so much.
Anyway,
Yes.
so yes, definitely. I think we all probably really heavily relied on music during that time after Brexit. That was a horrible time for me as well because there was Brexit and I was also in the middle of my fight with the Home Office. So I was like, right, well, I'll just fuck off then, will I? Because nobody wants me here. That was hard. So yeah, I was like, I don't think I turned my TV on for months. I just listened to music. Escapism.
What was it? Do you know like specific or?
I would say probably a lot of Slipknot. Because Slipknot for me is when you're angry, you know, it's cathartic. You know, when I...
And when you're psychosocial.
Well, mainly people equal shit is the really good one. That's my kind of go-to. You know, if you've had... Because I've had a lot of jobs dealing with the public. So if you've had a crappy day, you know, you put on people equal shit. It just makes me feel better.
I'm again a bit like Ghost, Slipknot. I can kind of I'm in between sort of, but I do. My favourite one of theirs is the Heretic Anthem, which I think is a proper banger.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the whole of Volume 3. Is my favourite album. I could listen to that over and over until the end of time. I just think it's, you know, it taps into something really primal. You know. So, and there's, you know, there's slower songs that are kind of interesting and kind of lots of layers. And then there's like, I don't know, like The Blister Exists that's just got one of the best drum solos ever and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So, but then they've got songs like Snuff, you know, which is devastating. I saw Corey Taylor live, when would that have been? 2017 or something in London, and he did an acoustic set. So he did like some Slipknot stuff, he did some Stone Sour stuff, he did some covers, and when he played Snuff, he started crying, which like immediately set everybody in the room off. Everybody was crying, and like clapping and singing and crying, and it was really emotional because it's, you know, to the band, it's Paul's song, you know, so there's that sort of sadness connected to it that maybe wasn't there before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the best thing about any form of art, isn't it? The times that it reaches you.
Well, that to me is what music is for. That's what I like about music. It has to make me feel something, you know. So whether it's kind of like people equal shit and I'm going, members of the public, you know, or if it's something happy, or if it's something really heavy that kind of makes you go, oh, wow, you know, it kind of like penetrates your soul kind of thing. So that's why my song list is so weird, so varied,
diverse.
And, you know, as I've said before, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I did when I was younger, you know, like when I first got into metal, it was like you have to listen to just metal. You're not allowed to listen to anything else because it means you're not a real metalhead. And I was like, right, you know, that I sort of kind of rock and metal, you know, like my first band that I was obsessed with was Bon Jovi. Heard You Give Love a Bad Name on a TV at a friend's house and was just zoomed in on it. Like, what's that? That's really good. I really like that. So, you know, that was the sort of the first one. But the next one after that, when I kind of started realizing that I can listen to whatever I want to. Like, who are these weirdos telling me I'm not allowed to listen to anything but metal? My next band obsession was ABBA. When ABBA Gold came out, I was just like, holy shit, you know, being Australian, they were massive in Australia. They were huge, you know. At one stage, it was something like every single house in Australia, going by numbers, had at least one ABBA record. They were so popular. They were one of the few bands who ever actually toured Australia that wasn't Australian. They were one of the few bands that made the journey all the way to Australia, and, you know, like, crowds were just like nuts, you know, because it was so exciting, you know, to have this famous band there. Actually went all the way there. So yeah, I was completely obsessed. You know, it's on my bucket list to go to the ABBA Museum in Sweden, like, absolutely. So now I would listen to, from a purely satanic point of view, I would say Behemoth, particularly the album The Satanist. That would be my favourite.
Yeah.
It was written, you know, when he was recovering, when he was, you know, going through cancer treatment and recovering from cancer, and it's got this real strength of feeling to it, this real sort of passion, which I find really inspiring and really interesting. And I saw them play the whole album at Download, I think it was, and everybody just stood mesmerised. You know, there wasn't kind of like, you know, Wall of Death and all of that sort of stuff. Everybody just stood going, wow, holy shit. You know, it was so good. And he's so, you know, the singer, he's so passionate when he's singing. When, you know, when he says, I believe in Satan, and, you know, like, oh Father, oh Satan, oh Son, you know, the kind of like devotion behind it and that kind of strength of feeling, I just really connect with that. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, they're great. I've seen them live with Rotting Christ and Satyricon.
Yeah, that would have been a show.
I mean, I don't believe in Holy Trinity, but this was called Unholy Trinity, and I'm all in. Thank you. Fuck, it was good. Yeah, but like, as you say, like the music that reaches like deep inside of me, and plays with my insides, like, please. I need that to happen with music. I can't listen to anything that doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, it's a nice melody. I don't fucking care. Yeah. It needs to do something to me. Make me cry, or just like feel the bass in my heart. Or sometimes when I want to scream, I don't have to, because I have my heavy metal music. It screams for me. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. 24 songs later, I'm calm. I'm good. Yes. People can come close to me again. You know?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or for the rituals, I have certain musicians, composers that I use for when I want to just write my rituals in my special book, and I need some music to get into that space and to focus. Thank you, my brain. And maybe these people don't even compose this music with that, but for me it works. But come on, if you call something the old ones and the ritual or the invocation, come on, you know I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
I think the album that spoke to me that most embodies the idea of satanic music for me is probably Celtic Frost album, and it was their last album as a band called Monotheist. And it's got a lot, I mean, every song on there, in my opinion, is an absolute fucking banger. But it's got a 10-minute song on there called Synagoga Satanae, which is just, God, it's perfection in song form. For me, it's epic and grandiose and huge and dark and makes no apologies. It's just, to me, it's the ultimate satanic song. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did put it on the playlist.
I can't wait to listen to it. I don't know the song.
I don't know how, I mean, Celtic Frost are kind of, they're an extreme metal band for people who really like extreme metal. I don't know how much people who are not really into that would which I don't, you like Behemoth, you're probably going to like Celtic Frost, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just don't listen to Cold Lake, because it's shit.
Okay.
Okay. Now I have to give
That's
it
awful.
I can't help myself. It's awful.
Tom Fisher, who's the lead singer, lead guitarist, he's actually disowned the whole album Cold Lake because he said it was
What was it, like a contract filler or something?
Well, it was their attempt in the late 80s to go kind of like hair metal, glam metal. After starting off as
always goes
well. Yeah, I mean...
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I want to hear it.
So many bands in the 80s, not just metal. I mean, so many bands in the 80s did the 80s production, the synthetic drums, and went for all that kind of shit, and put out their worst albums ever.
Yeah, are you listening, Alice Cooper? Fucking hell.
Hey, I like trash. I do. It's fun. It's fun.
That's fine. I mean,
yeah.
This is the thing, though, and we were saying that, I mean, we were talking yesterday, it's okay to like some bands that and music by those bands that other people don't. And it's also okay to not like some bands and artists that other people do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that we all think as Satanists is that your individual tastes are completely correct because they're yours.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's also a couple of tracks I put on there that are definitely not satanic in any respect in terms of either the artist or the music. I regard them, I put them on there because the satanic in the sense, to me, that they refuse to stick to the norms and completely threw an awful lot of what was accepted musical theory at the time into the bin and upset a lot of people.
Can I have a guess?
And
can I have a guess which ones they are?
Go on.
I would say the Tim Buckley one.
That one. Yeah, because that was really unusual because he was sort of a folksy singer before he did that album, Star Sailor, and it's a phenomenal album. But the main ones were the Beethoven Große Fuge, which it was late on in his life. He was pretty profoundly deaf, and it's a string quartet, and it was completely panned at the time. Because people, did not understand that he was taking musical theme, pulling it apart to its constituent elements in an almost cubist way, and then putting it back together. So they didn't understand it, so they panned it. Oh, they went, he's fucking deaf. And the other reason why musicians didn't was because they couldn't play it. They were not good enough. It was pushing musical notation to its limits, and musical notation is very limited. And it was like, how do we play this? This is just impossible, And the other one was Eric Satie's Nocien #1. And what he did with those things is his music notation was taking the piss. He put no time signature on any of it. So it's just long bars with the notes in. So you don't know what the rhythm is or how to intone it. It's just like, right, here's the notes, and this is how long each note is, but there's not any particular rhythm to it. And then he wrote things above rather than fortissimo or whatever. He put things on the notation like bright and shining, and in French, not in Italian, because you have to do these things in Italian. So but he was actually literally, he's fucking taking the piss. And it's a beautiful piece of music. And when you hear it played, you will hear it played quite differently by different people, because it's like, basically what he's saying is, here's the notes, and here's some bits I'm telling you to put emphasis on, in however you want to understand bright and shining, for example. But you play it the way you feel it. And again, that's fucking, I have a great deal of respect for people like that who go, oh, do you know what? I'm a respected musician. I'm just going to fuck with the system now. I'm just going to fuck with the norms and make something great. And, those are...
That sounds incredible.
I think I'd like it when I hear bands doing covers of other bands that are not necessarily part of the same genre. Like we played a track on Contra Odium, which was a black metal band doing a cover of a John Cougar Mellencamp song. And your immediate thought is, that's not going to work. Black metal version of a John Cougar Mellencamp song. But it's brilliant. It works really, really well.
What's the
song?
And
I love that idea that you can take one thing and another thing, which then they're completely two different things, and put them together in a brand new way.
What's the song?
Can't remember.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Is it on the list?
It's not on the list because I did that before we did the show.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can share it with us later or something. I would like to.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the latest Contra Odium, so I'll send that's the link. I'll put it in the show.
Oh,
notes.
okay, right.
But yeah, that idea that music doesn't even a song, a track, somebody's vision for that song and track is different for everybody. It's like a good book or something or a piece of art. Like a painting. Everybody's going to see it or experience it in a slightly different way. There's always that kind of like ambiguity between what the artist might have meant and what the piece might mean to them, and how somebody experiences it. And I love that. I really love that.
It is, and it is like I said before, the musical notation being, it still annoys me that they're still teaching this shit and still using it, and it's like it's so limited, and in terms of it doesn't tell you. Yeah, it might tell you, right, there's, it's in 4/4 and this is the kind of beat. It doesn't tell you how many beats per minute. It'll use some Italian term like molto lentamente or whatever the fuck, that they came up with centuries ago. And it's like, well, fuck that stuff in the water now. we can do 80 beats per minute. Yeah. This is it. That's how fast it's played. And it's why, and with an awful lot of particularly classical music, which wasn't recorded at the time, you hear different people play it. They play it at completely different speeds, and I believe there's one, I think it's Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, where you listen to Herbert von Karajan, who was very famous for conducting Beethoven, and he'd do the old really majestic, slow, ponderous, and then there was another conductor, and I can't remember his name, and there's something like 10 minutes difference between one recording and the other.
Wow.
So, it's like, and they're both correct according to musical notation, because no one says how fast it should be played. It's like there's expressions like the Italian for ponderous or whatever, and you go, well, what the fuck does that, and should we still be teaching this shit?
Yeah.
It's absolutely ludicrous way of keeping, in my mind, keeping music from the common people. Yeah. It's like, no, you have to have been to an expensive school and studied this shit to be able to do music.
Yeah.
So let's make it really complicated, use a foreign language so that common people can't fucking play it. They're stuck in pubs playing fiddles. you know.
Well, it's very much like
Real music.
like the idea that the Catholic Church had in the medieval times, when they said, "Oh, the Bible had to be written in and read out in Latin."
Latin,
because
absolutely.
the common man or woman was not able to understand. So
so they had to go to church.
yeah,
And you definitely did, and there were instances of people getting into trouble. I'm trying to think of the specific one for having a Bible in English, and I think that was the origin of the original King. Was it the King John Bible?
King James.
King James.
King James, that's it, the King James Bible. I believe the origin of that was someone writing it and then getting into trouble with the papacy for actually having a copy of it in English, and it took the actual king to in the end to say, yeah, it's okay, this is legit, before people were allowed to read it. Before that, it was like, you're going to get into trouble for this, into serious trouble, because that's blasphemy, not having it in Latin.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of like one of the ideas behind Martin Luther's Reformation of the Church, was this idea that the Bible should be, every person should be able to have the Bible in their own home, written in their own language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Weird, isn't it?
Which was what Jesus would have wanted, literally.
Yeah, and now they're in every hotel in the world.
Oh, they're fucking everywhere.
Except in my house.
You haven't got a Bible in your house, Mel. You're going to hell.
I know.
Hooray!
I'll see you there.
See you there.
I have, but it's missing several pages. Guess what happened to them?
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I sometimes run out of toilet paper as well.
That would have been a good solution during lockdown,
Yeah.
and the shortage of toilet paper. I
You don't
did
have
not
toilet
think
paper,
about
too many
that.
Bibles?
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know. I think it's probably a bit rough on the ring piece. They're not sort of like,
Especially
printed
the
for
gold
comfort,
on the
aren't they?
edge. That might be a bit sharp.
Ah,
Not
Nice,
very absorbent.
nice and easy to set fire to, though. That's all I'll say. Good to use as kindling.
kindling is bad.
Yes, and yes, Mel, go on. Tell us about Taylor
Okay.
Swift. We have a Swiftie here.
Yay!
So, as I said before, what I have to have if I listen to music is something that makes me feel something. So I started listening to Taylor Swift at a horrible job that I was at that had a horrible radio station on all day. It was just when Reputation had come out, so they played the singles from that. It was the only music that I had heard all day that I didn't hate. So Reputation is still my favourite album. That's her kind of sassy sort of fuck you album. It's got some fun songs on it, but a lot of it is, her talking about how her reputation tanked and, she wasn't the kind of golden girl anymore and all of that sort of stuff. So there's kind of real venom to misappropriate the word. Sorry, LaRoche.
I just got this mental image of a Taylor Swift video with
Are you clutching
Kronos
your pearls?
Kronos.
So, I mean...
Oh my God, Kronos these days looks like Gollum.
Yeah. But
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Anyway, sorry, back to Taylor.
The kind of logo for the album was a snake, so she was, it was deliberate, that she sort of did that. And I find that her songwriting really clever, like she can kind of paint a picture with very few words, and put them together. And even if it's something that's very sparse, when she's singing, you know what she's talking about. It's not, a lot of the time she's not very kind of obtuse. You know what she's talking about. So I really enjoy that part of it. And I mean, like if you've ever had your heart broken, you stick on Tay Tay, you know what she's talking about. You're going through the same damn thing, so I feel like I can relate to it really easily. And then she's got other fun stuff as well, like Shake It Off and things like that. That's my had a couple of drinks, need something fun to listen to, Shake It Off. So I just really enjoy that I like to say to people as a joke, like I spent years and years listening to only rock and metal, and now I'm in my pop princess era. So I would listen to pop music now, but like to me, what I call proper pop music. So pop music that's got a bit of spunk and a bit of fun, and it's not just like the stuff that they play on the radio. I really don't kind of enjoy. It has to be something. That's what pop music's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to kind of make you kind of bop along while you're watching a video or that sort of thing. It's supposed to make you feel something, whereas a lot of the stuff that's on the radio, it just kind of passes you by. It's like background sound. So
the most of it makes me feel a lot of hate and discomfort. Like I don't listen to any radio.
I listen to the radio at work. I listen to Absolute Radio, which is kind of rockish kind of stuff. So yeah, I really do enjoy listening to Taylor Swift, and I mean other. I wouldn't sort of go out and buy like Sabrina Carpenter or anything like that. I don't really know her stuff very well, but I'm definitely very fond of Taylor Swift stuff, and even things like some One Direction stuff and things like that. I just find them really fun. They make you feel happy, and sometimes you just really need that. Sometimes if you've had a shit day, sometimes it is good to listen to people that are shit or people equal shit and like scream and like punch cushions. But sometimes, and I think that to me is the definition of music for a Satanist, not necessarily satanic music, but music for a Satanist, where it makes you feel something, it does something for you, that is what you need.
Yeah.
And we are not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Like we are not all the same.
No, absolutely.
So as you can see, we see the satanic value in different genres, different singers, whatever. And we celebrate it together. We are not like, oh, you can't be a Satanist now. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is years ago when, and this is one of my stepdaughters, when Lady Gaga's first album came out, she was listening to Lady Gaga on the radio.
Yeah.
So I went, I'll buy her The Fame, which was the album. And I got the CD and actually put it on my equipment and listened to it first. Did decent headphones. And I was like, fucking hell, this is great pop music. This is like really, really well written, clever, fun pop music. And it's not like drivel. Yeah. It's really well put together. So I have a lot of respect for her. I think, it is not run-of-the-mill tat. And it is pop. And it has its place. And there's nothing wrong with really well executed pop.
Exactly.
No, I think we do have to sort of like really challenge this gatekeepy idea that it's only metal or punk or industrial or anything like that.
Music,
that's the only thing that is acceptable for a Satanist to listen to. Mm-hmm. It's not at all. It's whatever moves you as a person. That's what makes it satanic. Yeah. Not what the words are. Or more like, yes, it is what the words are, but because they speak to you as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're thinking about, sort of like the satanic, the rebellious message, and you go, let's think of someone like Woody Guthrie going around with his acoustic guitar with "This Machine Kills Fascists" written on it. And that was just folk, but completely rebellious. And even Johnny Cash, the country and western is not all rhinestones and my woman left me and my God.
I have a beer, I have a truck, I have big wheels.
My cattle have all got brucellosis and all that kind of shit. It's like, Johnny Cash was rebel music. He played a gig in a prison to a bunch of murderers. And, every genre of music has its genuine, rebellious, and in that sense, satanic proponents.
I think Dolly Parton is one of the most subversive artists on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, not only in the music that she writes, but also in the things that she does.
Yeah.
On a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
What an example for us all.
Yes.
I would say the same about the likes of Elvis. Elvis was one of the original, like the really big stars that came out of music. And everybody thought he was the devil, because he was sexy, and teenage girls were going, I'm not sure what this is, but I like it, So
yeah, absolutely.
Elvis,
I mean, we're talking Elvis pre joining the draft and then going to Vegas. We're talking proper,
exactly,
sort of
like from the
leather
50s,
clad, rebel Elvis at the start.
And
it was absolutely outrageous music.
Yeah, like Jerry Lee Lewis. God, Rock Around the Clock. Who did Rock Around the Clock?
Bill
Haley
and
and the
the
Comets. Yeah, like there was riots whenever they played because it was so new and it was so not for the grown-ups. It was young people's music, and it started this big sort of revolution. That was when the word teenager was first sort of used. Before that they were just kind of kids, and then they were grown-ups. There wasn't that period where they were learning who they were or anything like that. This wasn't heard of. So they're kind of the kind of the original rebels of that type of music.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even, when you talk, you think the archetypal rebel music, certainly of my use, because I'm an old fucker, being punk. And then you go bands like The Clash, who started out as punk on their first album, straight down the road punk. Yeah. By the time you get to London Calling, they're putting in old rock standards and then they're doing some ska and actually going, this music was rebel music, we're doing it as rebel music again. Not all old rock is shit. And, also bringing the whole ska and Jamaican music element into it and going, that's rebel music too,
Yeah.
I think one of the things that punk did was kind of like democratise the kind of like music making process, because I do think there's an argument to be made that any genre of music, once the corporate bods get their hands on it, it becomes homogenised and compartmentalised, and it loses its edge a bit. And then a new style comes along, and that's what punk did to rock in the late 70s, I think, was. And it basically said to kids, you don't have to be rich, you can just go and get a guitar and start playing. You don't even have to be that good. You just got to write stuff that you think is true and play music that you like. And that, to me, was the essence of punk and what it did to music.
Yeah.
I mean, the reaction against, the sort of what prog rock had become in the 70s, which is like public school boys playing classical music type stuff on with sort of rock instrumentation. I fucking have no time for yes at all. Fucking shite.
God over.
I do listen to some prog rock, but the dark ones, the dark bands, Van der Graaf, Generator and King Crimson, basically.
I think it's better than the Choir Boys.
But, you kind of like the reaction to that, and then disco, where you just had the same monotonous beat and increasingly sort of like lame production. Not much as geniuses like Nile Rodgers kind of did different stuff. You kind of like, it all becomes samey again. And then you have the reaction, and you have punk,
Yeah.
It's kind of like... bit like grunge being a reaction to sort of hair metal in the 80s.
God, a needed reaction. Well, I mean, there was this like thing, in the early mid-70s, that there was bands like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, and I ain't knocking them, they're great, but they were increasingly churning out 15, 20-minute length songs, and again, not knocking that, that's fine. If you like that, that's great. But then punk came along and said, fuck that. I'm going to do a 4-minute song about how pissed off I am about the fact that I can't get a job. And it was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. And it took it back because,
authentic.
When singles first started to be released, they could only be 3 minutes long or less, because that was all that fit on a record. That was all that fit on vinyl, was 3 minutes for a single. That was all you could do. And it was only in this... Once they kind of upped production in the mid-70s, thereabouts, 74, 75, all of a sudden you had bands like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and all that going, this is great. And so they just kind of
took advantage.
Jammed, which was...
and arguably, thrash metal was kind of a kind of metal version of punk, really, another reaction to
It
it.
absolutely was. Yeah. I mean, when bands like Metallica started, they were born out of love of the new wave of British heavy metal, which was, Maiden, Judas Priest, the bands who were a little bit faster, who were a little bit more DIY than the old style metal bands like Black Sabbath. It was still working class music, but it was kind of like sped up and married with punk. And maybe Motorhead fall into that category too. But yeah, thrash was very much and that was kind of, I always loved metal from, all my life, but thrash was the first subgenre of metal that I totally fell in love with.
Yeah, me too. And it's funny when you think of Metallica, like the first couple of albums, the songs were, 4 minutes long-ish, kind of on average. And then their newer stuff just kind of got more and more sort of grandiose and drawn out and,
Yeah, I feel a little bit sad about Metallica. I'm afraid one of those sad pricks who goes on about Metallica's first 4 albums being brilliant and everything else being shit.
It was their definite, them at their peak, definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There's some decent songs on their newer albums, but nothing that kind of reaches the same level, I don't think.
No, I just wanted to say that I also want to thank all the bands that brought masks onto the scene and created all the masked
They're all masked
people.
now, aren't they? There's like loads of them.
It's getting really interesting now. Like all the masked band. I am into that, if you can tell.
Who's your favourite masked band?
Ghost.
Oh,
Lordi.
God.
Finnish
Do you know,
band, Lordi.
It never even crossed my mind. Of course, Ghost are masked, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I love masked. Slipknot are masked. Even just the combination of the sound and looking at the masked, specifically men, but people, works for my satanic mind.
Now they're all doing it.
Thank you.
I mean, there's even black metal bands doing it now. The Infernal Sea are masked.
I mean,
Gaia from Portugal are masked.
Powerwolf.
Who? Powerwolf?
Many.
Are they masked?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah. In some way, yes. They use, it's more theatrical and grandiose and it's not masked, like you can't see the faces. But they have these costumes, like these warriors of some sort. Yeah. But do you know Lordi?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's extreme masked.
The first Eurovision that I actually enjoyed because it was like, what the fuck is this?
I would say the most extreme masked band is Gwar.
Yeah.
They are...
Oh, God, Gwar.
Oh, okay, yes.
But they're just, they are literally taking the piss.
They're having so much fun with it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely hilarious. They all respect for them because the kind of prosthetics they're wearing, playing instruments, has got to be extremely fucking difficult.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Even just being at the concert where you are just enjoying the music is exhausting. Like, I always go I need a week to recover from this. I'm fucking 5 kilograms down. I'm sweaty. I'm tired. I feel dirty from inside. Like, I have no voice. And these artists are there performing in these costumes. And how? Every second day somewhere. Like, what?
Like, even going back to, Kiss in their costumes, like, I know they didn't have masks on, but not only did they wear, big, kind of weird, spiky shoulder pads and all the rest of it, but
and I think it was all latex
platform boots.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking about costumes, and you probably had seen them on your social media feeds, the Canadian band Angine de Poitrine.
That's a mask and a half.
They're absolutely insane. I mean, they are just incredibly good musicians. And they play special guitars, microtonal guitars. So they've got twice as many notes per scale as normal. So they're playing in between notes. And they are... The guitarist plays guitar and bass with pedals to kind of do the loops. The drummer's incredibly good. It's just absolutely insane. But the masks are mental.
Please share in the chat, please.
What? Oh, you haven't seen them?
No.
Really?
No, I haven't.
No.
Fucking hell! They've just been all over social media.
Well, maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Right, I shall. Yeah.
wanna see
I'm not
that.
put a link in the show notes because you will come across them at some point. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. And what was the other band? There's an Aussie band that had microtonal guitars made for them. King Lizard and the Gizzard Wizard.
Yeah.
Was it King
Yeah,
Gizzard
yeah.
and the Lizard Wizard? Can't remember which way round it is. Which way round is it, Mel? Do you know as an Aussie?
No, I know the ones you mean, but I don't know which order those three words are in. No.
King. I think it's King Gizzard.
Maybe they don't
Let's
care
have a
either.
look. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard,
Oh,
yes. And they basically, they also had, and it sounds really unusual, and again, full respect for them because, again, another annoyance of mine, this Western system of music where you've actually literally got an unlimited number of frequencies, but we've decided 12 notes. 12 notes, that's it. 12 notes, and then you hit the octave, you double the frequency. And you look all over the world, you look to the Middle East, you look to China, you look to Japan, you look to Africa. They don't do that shit. They play, they play with dozens more notes, all the in-between notes, and they're okay. And it's just, we've got used to, listening to our limited musical vocabulary in the West. Because some fucking dickheads in Italy decided what the fucking rules were. Fuck them, that's what I say. Bring on the microtones.
I don't even know what a microtone is.
Basically, you go a note in between what the normal notes are. So you go like the normal 12 notes and you just pick a frequency in between.
Okay.
Which is a microtone. Yeah. So you can go, right, okay, we're not doing 12 notes to the scale, we're doing 18, we're doing 24, we're doing 48. You listen to sort of like
sugar.
call to prayer in Islam, that kind of thing, and the kind of notes and the sliding scales, and they go up and down. They're hitting microtones all over the shop.
There you go.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'll finish my rant about fucking music and musical theory and the way that we're limiting ourselves deliberately.
So I suppose we shouldn't really have a show about music that's satanic, in whatever way that is, without mentioning Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I mean, they were the kind of original, even though they were all Christians, they were the original kind of, they wore crosses, like the right way up.
Oh, yeah.
How did nobody get that?
They look like contestants in the Who Can Wear the Biggest Crucifix competition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like literally the most big elaborate crucifixes you can.
Yeah.
But they did use, the devil's cord and all the other stuff, and they were considered, and I think they dabbled, I think they said at the time, in the occult, and certainly musically, I think they did. So they were kind of the OG, really.
I mean, they were kind of doing Satanism in that Hammer House of Horror sets, like setting horror stories to music, and no one went, Hammer House of Horror, you're Satanists. But people at the time did go, oh my God, they're Satanists.
Yeah.
I think that's how Geezer Butler has described the origins of the band. They were looking for something new. And I think Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi were talking, and one of them said to the other, let's write horror movies, but for songs. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they definitely did.
And apparently the riff that I mentioned at the start, the tritone riff, the song Black Sabbath, that was influenced by Geezer and Tony Iommi having listened to Gustav Holst's Mars, Bringer of War from the Planet Suite, which also uses tritone, also puts a devil's note in. Mm-hmm. So, nothing new, but, it's, they definitely were massively influential in creating a new genre of music.
I mean, there's not many bands that can say, we invented a whole genre of music, but they can. That's
and they were absolutely panned and slated
they
at
were,
the time
Yeah.
by critics until they did Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, and then they got some critical praise.
Yep.
But yeah, people were going, "What's this shit? What's this devil worshipping shit?" And it's like, massive influence.
Yeah.
Music would be a lot more boring without them.
Like the concert they did before Ozzy passed away. I mean, that was, beamed around the world. It was thousands and thousands of people were watching, and, all the bands that came along to perform at it, all very clearly influenced by Sabbath.
Look, I don't think it's possible to play metal or metal adjacent music without every single band and artist has got to owe some kind of debt to Black Sabbath.
Yep.
In some way.
Yeah.
Just that distorted guitar alone is.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Iommi is by no means a brilliant soloist, but considering that he sawed the ends of two of his fingers off on his fretting hand, made plastic bits to put on them himself, and then carried on and worked out how to use lighter string gauges and detune the guitar, and just kept on at it, and actually did what he did. In terms of riff writing, he's unparalleled, really.
Yep.
Yeah. God, I can still remember the first time I heard Symptom of the Universe. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, that was... I mean, and that song, arguably a precursor to
Thrash.
Thrash metal.
Absolutely, yeah. That and, sorry, Elijah, here, Queen. There's a Queen song that I can't remember the name of. Metallica covered it.
Sheer Heart?
Could be Sheer Heart.
No. Oh, I know the one you mean.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Metallica did a cover of it on the Garage Days EP.
Yeah, Garage Inc., yeah.
Oh, God, what's it called? Can't remember. But those two songs and the influence of Motorhead, I think, were all precursors to thrash.
Stone Cold Crazy.
Stone Cold Crazy, that's it, yep.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Crazy, that's the one.
Do we think we've talked this to death?
Yes.
Yeah, we've kind of come to the end, really, of the discussion for this time. It doesn't mean we're not going to come back to it in future, but it's been great fun, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it. And as always, thank you. I've been Lissos. Hail Satan. Laraj.
Hail Satan.
Mel.
Hail Satan.
Oh.
And Lygia.
What am I supposed to do
Golden
now?
Sphere.
Hail Satan.
You can't laugh when you say that. You'll go to hell. Oh, no.
Hail Satan.
We're going to hell anyway.
Thank God.
Yeah, see you in hell.
Yes, see you in hell, folks. And on that note, bye-bye. No blooper reel this time. You've already heard it. It's the pissing teapot. And I could not be asked to edit it out, because I am a rank amateur at audio editing. I'm also a rank amateur at music, so if any of you want to write in and tell me where I was wrong talking about music theory and microtones, the email address, as always, is in the show notes. So feel free to. Otherwise, enjoy the playlist and hail Satan.